Hi Flosstubers, it's Diane. I thought I'd do an update video. Today is August 20th, 2020, so 8/20/20. I thought I'd do an update video and we'll just jump right in. Life updates, we're still healthy, which is great, and just doing the next thing, figuring this all out like everybody else in the world. But what have I been stitching? I have a bunch of new starts. I don't think I actually picked up a whip. Everything has been a new start. So we'll jump in. The first new start on July 31st-ish, my friends gifted me a gift certificate to Stitchville. And so I went to Stitchville and I used it. And I kitted up some things, and this is one thing I kitted up. It's the Historic Country Sampler from the Gift of Stitching magazine. I will put information on this particular piece, how you can order it if you're interested, below. You have to order the Gift of Stitching magazine, which she has made available again. The original publisher has made available again. And so I ended up buying an entire yard of 40 count fabric. Here it is. And I have been working on, technically it's month 3. And here is my piece. It's just white, 40 count white. And I have to extend this border over in this area, and then there's a couple of pieces that come down here, motifs, and then this part will be done. My goal with this is to do roughly one part a month, but some of the pieces are larger or have a lot of specialty stitches involved, so I'll give myself a couple months on that. But essentially do one part and then move on to something else, and then come back and do the next part is my plan. And here the original pattern calls for dinky dies. I love dinky dies, but 29 of them. Some were multiple skeins. They also give you Gentle Arts options, and so I looked through my stash, pulled some of the Gentle Arts, but I also had Carrie's Creation cottons. And so I took the dinky dye color, the Gentle Arts color, and I kind of found something comparable. And this is the colorway, which is beautiful. I love these blues and the golds. And the pattern does have a lot of bright colors. It includes, they call for crayon ink, but I'm using Petite Treasure Braid. So the majority of this will be stitched one strand over 2 threads on 40 count white. Using Carrie's Creation cottons. I also do have Gentle Arts in here because some have to be multiple skeins, and most of my Carries I only have one skein, and she's retired, so I don't know if you can even find her fibers anymore. But I did go to Stitchville and I had to purchase some of the duplicate Gentle Arts that I didn't have, so that is what it's going to be stitched in. I forgot where to put this. Put it over here. So that's one piece I've been working on. I was also working on this one. This is also from the Gift of Stitching magazine. I received all of them for Mother's Day, so I've been kitting things up. This is, oops, sorry, it's a little bright. This is a chatelaine. And in the magazine, it is called Rose Garden Mandala. You can actually purchase this pattern through the Shadowline website, and it's called Romantic Rose Garden. Now this is a digital rendering, and I've never stitched a chatelaine before, so this is my first chatelaine. But I purchased 32 count antique white Jobelin. I thought the even weave would be good for the specialty stitches and for the beads and crystals. The Historic Sampler does not have beads or crystals to it, but this is 32 count Jobelin antique white, and I purchased the silks, the DMCs, and the metallics with that gift certificate. So I have the entire center done. The directions say do all the full crosses first, and that's what's done here, is all the full crosses, and it's beautiful. So the next step is to do the full crosses out here, those gates. That'll be my next step. Again, I haven't ever done a Shadowline before, so I do not know if this is normal order wise, but here is the color palette. There's like 16, 17 DMCs, and then you have the silks. There's 3 water lilies here. There's a Gloriana, which is this bluish color here, and this kind of green blue is a silken color. And then you have these Petite Treasure Braids that are called for. So I thought it would give me a good taste. I haven't used this green yet. I've only used these 2 metallics. I thought it would give me a good taste of what a Shadowline is and what's involved. It does have really good stitch diagrams. And I did, because I watched enough Flosstube to know you want to mark your top with the mandala so you don't twist it somehow and your stitches go the wrong direction. So I did listen, and I've done that so far. So the gates will be next, those brick gates, and it stitched up really quickly, and I was pleased. I am using 2 strands over 2 threads on 32 count. That way the crystals and the beads will fit, because I thought, well, if I go higher count, then I have to make too many adjustments. And so I'm using 2 strands over 2 threads. Where's my other piece? This last weekend, so in April, I was supposed to go to a retreat here in Minnesota that's hosted by Stitchville called Spring Fling. It was delayed for obvious reasons, and so we had it this last weekend. The teacher, now this is the first retreat I've gone to where there's been a teacher, and the teacher was Linda Stoltz from Erica Michaels Designs, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. She had us work on silk gauze, which has intimidated me, but it shouldn't intimidate me, and it shouldn't intimidate you. She took the fear and the mystery out of silk gauze, and I really enjoyed that. She also, well, let me show you. This is the piece that we were stitching over the weekend. So the silk gauze, and if you, I don't know if you can tell, but I just have to fill in a little here and here, and then it's done. What I will do with this afterward is it goes on this little Orts jar. So I'll put it on some felt, and she walked through how to assemble this, and then I'll mount it on this little Orts. This is a plastic one, so it can travel really easily. She showed us how to make this wool rose and the topper. I don't have pinking shears, otherwise I'd put pinking around the edge, but that's okay. In case you ever wondered how to mount your silk gauze, well, that's what I wanted to show. You sew it to a piece of fabric, and then you turn it, you know, hold on just a second, make this easier. Let's make this easier. She gave us a fabulous kit, and in the kit were some other pieces of silk gauze, and she walked us through how to mount it. And so I mounted these. These were not mounted by Linda, these were mounted by me. But this is how she told us to do it. Is you take your silk gauze and you lay it on your fabric like this. Okay, and then I used the zigzag. Now, if you don't have a sewing machine, you can hand tack your piece, because this gives it the stability and it helps fit into the hoop better. So it'll fit into the hoop better. Then in school we had to, cut out the center heart or circle or whatever. So you kind of do that here. You pinch the fabric away from the gauze. So here's the gauze, here's the fabric, Then you take your scissors and you snip here, and then you cut near where you stitch. This is the zigzag from the sewing machine, and that gives you your opening. That gives you your opening. Then you don't have to worry, do I put this piece on first or this piece? That was very confusing for me, but she walked us through that, and it was so easy when she explained it. It was one of those aha moments. She also said that, you know, when you stitch on black Ada or whatever, the chalkboard fabric, they say put something light on your lap so you can see the holes better. She said with this silk gauze, now this particular count is 30 count, or is this 35? I think this is 30 count silk gauze. I didn't know there were different counts, and apparently there are. Put something dark behind it, on your lap or behind the work as you're working, and then you could see the holes easier. And that was a great tip. So if you're wondering about silk gauze, there's another tip for you that Linda's shared so graciously. And these are also tips that you can find on her website, which I will link below. I'm not going to show the project that she shared with us. Has, I think, 8 parts, including this little Orts jar. So I'll show you as I stitch those items, but I asked Linda about this. At this point in time, she does not plan on releasing this pattern, so I'm not going to show you the pattern itself. We don't want to bug her. She did a fabulous job teaching. It was so, even though we couldn't teach or meet in person, taking advantage of the technology, she could put PowerPoint in there. She could focus on, okay, this is how you do the continental stitch, which I had no clue. This is how you do the basket weave, which I've seen diagrams, but it never made sense until she literally walked through on that PowerPoint. And then it was an aha moment. So she's a fabulous teacher. She did a great job. If you have an opportunity to take a class with her of any kind or retreat, you will love the time spent there. So I will link her website. I will also link her business page on Facebook in case you've never, well, I have, you know, this is her brand right here, Erica Michaels, in case you weren't familiar with her. She also has some freebie patterns on her website. This is called Have a Heart. So it says, have a heart that never hardens, a temper that never tires, a touch that never hurts. So you can get that off of her website and print that off. She also has a stay home and stitch berry, which berries have intimidated me also. I've never, see, I am a mom of boys, so when I see the berries, I think projectiles. And she walked through how to assemble a berry and different toppers you can use, and just, it was very encouraging, very helpful. I so appreciated it. So if you have a chance, take one of her classes. In the goodie bag box that was included, we had the class kit, which is in here. This is that freebie I showed you a picture of. And it had everything. It had the wool for finishing. It has the linen, which I haven't started. The colorway for all of these designs. Where did I put my white? Oh, here it is. We'll just borrow this. This is the colorway, and it's beautiful. It's all weeks, except there is one DMC. So on this guy right here is DMC for background. But this is the colorway. And there are several other pieces of silk gauze to try, and I am going to try them. And in my opinion, most things that you stitch on silk gauze would look great on linen also. But I know I have one of her patterns. There's 3 parts in the same pattern. The silk gauze intimidated me. I didn't start that particular piece that's supposed to be on the silk gauze. I thought, no, I'm going to just do it on linen. Now I'm not so sure. I think I will jump in and do the silk gauze because it does go fairly quickly. On this part that I showed you, I did all the color, not the background, but all the color, like the letters and this flower and the lines. I did that all in one day. And that wasn't 100% stitching all the time, because when she was showing things, I was putting this down so I could watch. So it stitched up very quickly. This background's taking me a little longer because, yeah, it's background, but it's also something, you know, you're watching TV, you can just do, or watching Flosstube, you could just go for it. And here's what my back looks like so far. I don't know if that's normal. Again, this is my first piece, but I definitely would be doing more silk gauze. We also, so we have that project bag. We also received this mesh project bag with a little scissor keep fob zipper thing. We received, or I received, a little dish that I put my orts in, or I take my orts out and I put my M&Ms in. The dark chocolate peanut M&Ms, or the white chocolate peanut M&Ms are good. They're harder to find, but they are good. We also received this little case, which you put cards in, and it's, you know, people can't scan your card type of thing. I used to use this all the time. Mine broke, but now there's this one. And there were counting pins that apparently I've misplaced from my Big Toe Designs, and there was a thread, what do they call this? Thread bling. This is also by my Big Toe Designs. So it's so worth it. Oh, and I also forgot there was this little kind of canvasy pouch that says Majesty. And what is this one? Whipped honey, cinnamon whipped honey, and sourwood raw honey. What is this company? Savannah Bee Company is the, and lip balm. Always looking for lip balm. So there was also that little pouch. So that was in our goodie bag. But also, when I went on the 31st, this was prior to the retreat, I also picked up some odd threads for some other things, including that yard of 40 count white. Well, I also am going to, or am using that, not just for that piece, which is 510 by 320 stitches. So it needed a big piece. I figured it needed 22 by 32 inches on 40 count. I also kitted up, oops, sorry, let me get the plastic off of there. I also kitted up the Bristol Orphanage Sampler. This was in the last issue of the Gift of Stitching magazine. And so I had all the DMC, but now I have the fabric and the DMC. So when I have that done for the month, the historic one sitting there on the chair, I'm starting this one. And I haven't decided if I'm going to like finish this entire alphabet here and then switch to a different project, or if I'll do page 1, which, if I remember correctly, kind of goes over to this E and down. I haven't decided yet. How many pages are in this one? There are 12 pages for this pattern. And they look, you know, pretty full. Well, the last couple pages are half pages. But I haven't decided if that's how I want to do this. But instead of the called for, which is 3801, I believe, DMC, I thought that red was too bright. Yeah, 3801. So I have chosen to do 816, where it's a richer red, a deeper red. And I will be using one thread over one strand over 2 threads on my fabric on 40 count white. I thought of coffee tea dyeing this one, the fabric. I'm still not 100% sure. I might, but I might just leave it white also. I think that'd be very striking either way. When we had the retreat, we also had Stitchville generously offered us a discount that could be used. And so I went and I purchased this pattern. This is Rose Quaker, and there's the designer name. It's a German name. I will definitely write it out below, and their website I might link if possible below. But it's Rose Quaker, and I purchased, let's see, 40 count flax. And here's the colorway. It's all DMC. It's charted for DMC. And here's the colorway. It's just beautiful. These pinks and browns and tan. It's just beautiful. So I found that, and then by the same designer, I found this one. Autumn Rose Quaker. Or sorry, Autumn Forest Quaker. I'm sorry. There's glare. But even the picture is shiny, so I don't think taking out the bag is really going to help. But when I was looking at this, the color key, one DMC color is used in 2 different symbols. And it is not clear from the directions if, like, one you only do half stitches, one you do full stitches. And when I was looking through the pattern, there's nothing that says it. And I know sometimes you can have the same DMC color referred to with 2 different symbols. There's some mirrors that I ran into that because in this area, the other symbols around made it hard to read that symbol, so they want to make sure you can read that symbol. Or it was a different color and DMC changed the tone and they updated it. I know that can happen, and I'm thinking that's what's going on here. But they also have one symbol for 2 different threads. And I'm not talking a blended thread. This gold-ish leaf here and this brown over here have the exact same symbol, and it's not clear why. But I know that, so when I stitch it, I'll just have to be aware of that. But I thought that looked really, really nice. And I have 40 count Summer Khaki DMC colors. Here's the colorway. Isn't that gorgeous? I mean, look at this. It's definitely autumnal colors. And autumn is my favorite time of year. Let me see if I can show you. This is the Rose Quaker. Yeah, you can see it a little better. So this is the Rose one by that designer. It's a German designer. I am not going to butcher the name out of respect for them. So those 2 are getting started. I am doing Sampler September, and I'm working on my historic. I'm working on those 2 are going to be new starts. I'm going to do the Bristol and whatever else catches my eye. I'll also be working on the Erica Michaels. On that day that I went, I also had this one, the Riverdrift House, the Mayflower 400. This has been on my wish list. This is kitted for DMCs. Or I'm sorry, this is, yeah, it calls for DMCs. I also like that back here on the back, she kind of walks through what the different motifs mean and different initials and why she used certain initials and stuff. I thought that was really cool. This one is not even close to being kitted, but it's been on my wish list for a while and I had a discount, so I bought it. And then today I was able to go to Stitchville again. I know my stitch from Stash is kind of low. And I really have to start liking smaller projects. But I was able to pick up my Coming to America by Brenda Gervais. and I'd ordered this whenever we had to order it. And I also picked up a hoop so I can do my Erica Michaels a little easier, because I had to borrow a hoop for my daughter because I stitch in hand, so I don't use hoops. But also from Erica Michaels, this is Oceans of Wisdom. And this comes with a piece of silk gauze in it. It's, see, what does it say on the back? Does it say? It says, take time to coast, don't be crabby, see the beauty, and make waves. So that's what she has in her little piece there. And yes, I am going to do the silk gauze. And then Oceans of Wisdom 2. This one is a newer release by her. She showed this in the Zoom session, her fully finished objects, which is why it ended up. This is like a horn book. She found a horn book that kind of looks like a whale tail here, which is kind of cool. And this particular part is silk gauze. You could stitch it on linen and it will look great. So don't let silk gauze intimidate you. But some of the other finishes here where she took parts from that piece, let's see, Harbor Strength, is that in the middle? So this part here, Harbor Strength, so she pulled that from the design. Watch the Whales is here. Shine Like a Lighthouse is here. Let Your Dreams Set Sail. And Anchor Your Soul. So these are all little pin pillows. They're really, really cute. All taken from this overall design. And then she gives you finishing instructions. Her instructions are very, very thorough. She has good information on her website. I'll link her below. Also, I picked up the latest Mirabilia, the Queen Bee. Although I'm thinking this arch needs to be red. Just my personal opinion. But she's beautiful. I love her face. And the whole collar crown thing. So for September, I am looking at Sampler September. And again, work on those 4 pieces. We may have a short family vacation in September, still working out details, but I hope you're all doing well. My middle daughter got a job at the grocery store her brothers work at, so that is added to the schedule overall, but we're doing well, and we're just keeping doing the next thing. And yeah, I do want to say though that I've been getting some really weird comments on some of my videos that I have since deleted, and I will delete that. I will always do that. But just, if you're a Flosstuber, just be aware there's, I don't know, some troll, and who knows. I don't. People are weird. But I hope that the rest of your August turns well, and as we here in the States start to go into autumn, my favorite season, the things have a sense of normalcy if possible. And if you are going into spring, you can start seeing the green, and however you guys experience your spring, because I don't think your winters are quite like Minnesota. Yeah. Sorry, that was my husband. Anyway, yeah, I hope that wherever you're at, you're healthy, you're able to stay healthy. Very interesting times we live in. And I will say, I'm not going to ever get preachy on my videos, but I will say this, particularly regarding politics. And I live in the state of Minnesota. If you know anything about the history of Minnesota, you get what I'm going to say. If you can legally vote in the United States, take the next month to make sure you're registered. That's my political statement. Your vote does matter. And with regard to Erica Michaels, she showed us some previews of some upcoming releases. Keep an eye out for them. They'll be released in the next month, and they are fabulous. So fabulous, I pre-ordered 2 of them. I think she showed us 4, and I pre-ordered 2 of them. And I will show them to you when they come in, but keep an eye out. Watch her webpage, like her business page on Facebook, and then you'll get notified when she has new releases, because she has a style that I think is very calming in this time. She's a very nice lady. And her website has a lot of good information on silk gauze, making berries, the whole bit. So that's a resource for you if you're wondering about how to do all that. So I will let you go before I get interrupted again. I don't know, he's in a weird mood. But anyway, love to you all. Thank you for subscribing, commenting, thumbs up, the whole bit. I really, really appreciate it. I love this community, and I'm trying to get better at commenting on videos myself, but often I have them playing in the background and I forget whose video I wanted to comment on. But I will put some Flosstubers below that I've been watching recently, some new to me, some I've been watching for a while. But again, if you're interested in finding some other Flosstube channels and you're not sure a direction to go, it might give you a resource. But love to you all. Have a good day.